Hi there, this is Spartan Assassin, and yeah, today we are going to continue with our Western Xiliang warlords, which is Han Sui. So from here you can see that there's actually not much of a difference when it comes to units, but we'll see it in the campaign. So let us get into the game then. Alright, so here we are in Xiliang. Now for land wise, Han Sui start off small. He has the Anting 2 depot and Jingcheng city together with the Silk Road trading post. So I would say land wise he's not the best, but overall you could always expand into Wei because you start off at war with Zhangmeng. So yeah, you do have a good stack to start with, and yeah, you had Qiang Marauders, you have Xiliang Cavalry, Qiang Hunters. This is actually a good stack for you to like first blitz your way into a level 3 city, and you can always go for Wei commandery as a whole. You can take over the entire commandery if possible. The faster you take over, the better it is, so you can actually secure a horse pasture there, because unlike Ma Chao, who has a horse pasture and a minus 25% faction wide, if I'm not mistaken, from his title and the pass from tribal diplomacy, he has achieved Qiang units, but you can eventually reach there if you ever take Ma Chao as heir. Starting character wise, now Han Sui has a dilemma, which is you have so many characters. Like you can clearly see why you are having such a disastrous economy, because there's just so many of them. And to solve this, you had to do the undeniable, which is to kick off whoever that you feel that you don't need. Like all these characters, majority of them you don't need them in the early game. You don't really need them in the early game. You are just leaving them in your Jingcheng city just to rot. That is their sole purpose card for the moment. So I would suggest you to check out one by one and then see, like, if you want Chen Gongying, you can keep him. If you don't want, you can kick him. Cheng Yi, like, I don't like his trait, but I can choose to keep him because he's a champion, which I need it for my frontline. Overall, you can just kick him if you don't wish. If you don't want him, you can kick him. No worries. Even like Zhang Heng, you can kick him. It is up to you. So character wise, these are the characters. Of course, you have your faction leader, which is Han Sui, and you have Li Kang, Liang Xin, Ma Wan, your son, I believe, Han Xin or something. I'm not sure. I need to check and see the Chinese word. If I'm not mistaken. Alright, Han. It reminds me of the early Han dynasties, Han Xin. This is another Xin. Alright, so, and then your other son, Han Chong, your Cheng Yi, Chen Gongying, Yan Xing, Miao Wanwan, your wife, your daughter Han Anyue, Hou Xuan, Zhang Heng, Yang Qiu, and Chen Ying. So these are the characters that you start off. But I would suggest whoever that you don't want, kick them. whoever that you want, keep them. So it is either you keep or you keep, up to you. Now to start off, you are actually a vassal of Cao Cao. So as you might remember from our previous Ma Chao faction intro video, you don't have to worry about focusing much on the east, because Cao Cao is strong, Cao Cao is huge. He can eventually like destroy Yuanshang and Tatun. He can secure the entire north. Your primary focus is Wu Wei, Anting, and Shuofang, these three. And if you want, after you finish Wu Wei, Anting, and Shuofang, focus on Song Jian, eliminate him, so you can get all of Shuofang for yourself and majority of Anting for yourself. This is your primary goal, because you are in the almost westernmost territories of the Han territory, of the Han Empire, so you can eventually ride your way through Wu Wei and then go back into Anting and move all the way to Shuofang. But yeah, you can move how you can decide either you want to invade west or invade east. And as Han Sui, you start off with 2 stack. It is actually, I would say the Han Sui stack is good, but this stack is kinda on the smaller scale. But it is not to say the worst, but it is considered okay-ish. But of course they are cavalry, so you might not want that much of a cavalry in your early game, especially with this economy. Yeah, so now diplomacy wise, like, you know that you have a son and you know Ma Chao has a sister, and if you are lucky enough, you can get a marriage. You can get Ma Yunlu in your faction. All you need just either one of your son to marry his sister, and you can also put trade agreement which sweeten the deal. At least your economy won't be so rough, I would say. Yeah, so yeah, at least you save another 200 bucks, 300 bucks, like that. But it's up to you. I won't like say you have to do this or do that. And next up is our faction mechanic. I don't need to talk about tribal diplomacy again. We have saw this in our Ma Chao faction intro, and we'll just straight into insurgency. This is Han Sui's faction mechanic. Now insurgency, there is 5 stages. You have your traitor, armed rebel, watchful eye, gaze of the snake, and striking hour. What you want is go for striking hour, because as you can see in traitor, you have more debuffs than the buffs. As for striking hour, you get much better buffs for your entire faction. So if possible, go for striking hour. Try to farm as many insurgency as you can. As for how to get insurgency, I can't fully explain it since this is just a faction intro and I haven't really get into the campaign itself. So yeah, now the new thing that is added for Han Sui is Spy Master. I haven't actually tried that before. It is a basic position which you can try to help solve up any of the early game dissatisfaction issue. Like if I put Cheng Yi here, and he'll be a little bit happy, yeah, because he has a position. It does have their own buffs, and you do start off with 4 I'm not sure if we'll start off with 3 or how. We'll check again. Yeah, plus 3 available spy positions. So you start off with 1, but because you have a spy master, you have now extra 3 spy position. And for faction A, now the thing is, faction A, you have your wife, you have your daughter, you have your son, you have your second son, and of course, if you were to marry Ma Yunlu in the first turn, so I would say go for your elder son. Is he eldest? No, second son. Yeah, second son, second eldest. Because you see, he has a minus 10% upkick for Chiang units faction wide. You need it. You definitely need him, because you start off the campaign with Chiang Marauder of 245 upkeep per turn. Now you have 238 upkeep per turn. So it is a good trade. You can put him as your heir, or if you are lucky enough to if you are lucky enough to get Han Sui die in the first few turns, so that your son Han Xin can be the faction leader, and then as a faction leader you have a minus 10 for Chiang units upkeep cost, and you add that minus 10 for Ma Chao if you ever got him, and you get another, I believe Ma Teng has another percentage. Let us see. Yeah, here, there he is. Yeah, Ma Teng, he has a minus 20%. So you have minus 20 plus another minus 10 plus another minus 10. You have a minus 40% recruit upkeep cost for Chiang units. Upkeep, not recruitment. I'm talking about upkeep only. And apart from that, once you got that 40%, you add up with this minus 15% at 100 tribal diplomacy. So you can see you now have minus 55% upkeep cost for all Chiang units faction wide, which hopefully, I can't be sure if the upkeep for Chiang units is faction wide in tribal diplomacy, but if it is, you have a minus 55% upkeep cost for all Chiang units faction wide. So it is a very good buff by then. Now, apart from this, what else are we going to talk about? We already covered their start location. We have already covered their characters. Oh yeah, in order to save costs, I would have to fire a bunch of people. Now, like let's say I don't want Chen Ying, I release him. Yang Chu, release him. Hu Xuan, release him. We will just leave whoever that is in Han Sui's family. So yeah, Ma Wan, I'll just keep him. Liang Xin, Li Kan. So that we can have a stable economy in the early game. And this is definitely a bug. I've already I believe I already no, it's not a bug. Alright, so Chen Gongying, did I just accident? No. Alright, so these are all that we need so that we can get 1,000 income for next turn. Now just assume that I put her as a spy master, and yeah, So we have covered whatever that we need to cover for turn 1. So I would say go for Wei, Anting, Shuofang, whatever that is in the west, go get them, take the entire west for yourself, and once the time comes, invade Ma Chao if you want, and when Cao Cao liberates you, invade Bashu region and Hanzhong, so that you can have access to the Jing entirety of Jing province, or go invade Hefei. Yeah, so that is for turn 1. Now we will be going to turn 2, which is our unit introduction.
身心再度融为一体。
Alright, so this is turn 2, and so first of all, Han Sui has a mix of Qiang and Xiliang units. So of course you have your Qiang Marauders and Qiang Hunters who are fatigue immune, as well as the Xiliang Cavalry, which if you were to play Dong Zhuo and Lu Bu, both of them have the Xiliang Cavs. And apart from that, we have our Wuhu Warband, which is a newly added light sword infantry for Han Sui. And yeah, you have your heavy Xiliang Cav, and apart from that, who do we have here? I think I'll have to take up summon another new troop. So see you my.
全军听令，召集商贾，我要视察一下他们的。
Alright, we have 战马剑. Alright, so these are the basics. Yeah, so these are the basics, and we don't have captain retinues like Ma Chao has. So yeah.
坚如盾牌，势如利
We
刃。
also have our basic Qiang units, Qiang Hunters, Qiang Warriors, and the rest. So it is always it is basically like Ma Teng 2.0. So as Han Sui, you get to play with Ma Teng's unique units, which is the Qiang units, and Dong Zhuo's unique units, which is the Xiliang Cavalry. So these are all the introductions for Han Sui, and next up we'll be looking at Song Jian before we proceed maybe into if Zhang Meng has a unique mechanic or something, we might go there first. But overall, we'll be focusing next after Song Jian is Xia Huyuan and Cao Ren. As for Zhang Liao, Liu Bao, and Gong Sun Du, I have already made videos before, so I don't think so I need to remake them. And yeah, once we've done with Cao Cao's factions, basically his vessel, because I don't need to further talk about Cao Cao since he's playable faction ever since the launch of the game. So yeah, we might go into Lei Xu because he inherited most of Yuan Shu's mechanics, so we might have a look at him later. Overall, once we have covered the Western Warlord, the Yuan remnants, we might go into Ta Dun, and Yuan Shang I don't need to explain much because he's just Yuan Shao 2.0. He inherited most of Yuan Shao's mechanic. And yeah, so basically that is all for Han Sui, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.